Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Golden Kamuy season 4 episode number 13 reaction, and this is the final episode of this season. So the previous episode, a few things happened. First of all, the whole thing with Botaro. No, yeah, Botaro. I think I always like kind of mix up his name. Botaro happened where he obviously like tried to like kind of attack us after he got to see the that thing that Heita had, and thankfully a little we went into a little scuffle, but thankfully almost everything was fine. Botaro lost one of his people, one of his friends, but in the end we captured him, and by the end of it we decided to still kind of kind of forgive him for this whole thing, and yeah, let him come with us because he can actually help us. He'll be that trump card for us, just like how Surumi has his own trump card and Hichikata has his own trump card. So that was that. While then we get to see one of the most ridiculous scenes in all of anime history. I couldn't believe my eyes what the hell I was seeing. This show is always able to surpass the ridiculousness that it brings on. Like every episode with its shenanigans kind of topples the previous, like one which was top ranked. So this time episode number 12 topped everything with that whole battle, that we had between Usami and that that serial killer. And yeah, that was crazy. Anyways, after that we get to realize that this guy, the serial killer, is actually trying to copy Jack the Ripper. Like he's like a fanatic of Jack the Ripper and is kind of copying everything. So according to what Jack the Ripper did, I think like in 40 days, like he's going to continue doing this and then he's going to just disappear. So before that we have to get him, that kind of thing. And so then by the end of it, everyone's kind of like, oh, we also get to know about that guy, that the other convict, the one with the tattoo, and he's the person who's like killing the children. So like a lot of things are happening at the same time, and again we all of us are like kind of converging in one place, like I think like Sapporo, I think that's where we are in now. So like even Surumi is coming in this place, like like everything's converging again. Everyone's coming to the same stage again, and yeah, let's see what happens in this episode, how this season ends. So let us begin episode number 13. I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here, sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Hmm. Find the board. Okay. Lateral T. Ah. Hmm. I see. Okay. Oh my god. Ah, god. he's he's at it again. Oh my god, this guy. Oh boy. Okay, don't point it in this direction. Okay. True Ogata Entertainment. Yeah, he's being haunted. Like he's still being haunted. Oh wait, he didn't know. I guess. Wait, did he like? All right. Uh-huh. Hmm. Hmm. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, and he did this then. Then he left. Hmm. What the potential to kill is? What the hell type of logic is this? What the? Oh my god. No. Yeah. Wow. Alright. Oh my god. Make you the head of the seven. Alright, Usami. You lose with them. Wow. Not anymore. Mmm. Oh boy. Yeah. Like I've said this before as well. I feel like I'll talk about this later again. There's a lot of sections that makes me think that All right, calm down, Usami. Great. This guy's just. Okay. Ooh. Oh boy. Damn. And he just ran. Is that why he ran away? I think. Like after this. No. Do you think he's okay? Oh boy. God damn. Okada has so many enemies. Like it's crazy to think about it. Like one person has is like just everyone's like going for his head. There's Zukin now. There's this guy. Then like obviously Sugimoto's group. Oh my god. Oh boy. Well, yeah. Great. All right, that was an interesting conversation. Hmm. Uh, well, yeah, but in season two, I think was it or was it season three? Two. Like just yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, but you asked. Okay, your hair. Yeah, I also think that. Kind of. She probably has an idea. Yeah, she did tell him, but not. Mm. No, wait. Wait a minute. Yeah, she did. No, wait. I need to think about it. I'll think about it later. Gold dust at the bottom of legs. She got so. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Bow. Oh, sorry, the arrow. Whoa. Ah. Yeah. I see. Wolf. And you remember how Wilk really loved wolves and how he looked up to them, how they have this, they live the life of no. Hmm. Oh, with the name. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just saying. I need to remember if she told Sugimoto. She didn't tell him. Hmm. Oh, you didn't answer. What? The? Oh no. Is that a trap or something? It's a trap, isn't it? Yeah, it's all gonna fall. Like, what the hell? Wait, did someone do that? Oh my god. Oh no no move move move! Ugh! Those are some big trees. What the hell? Oh wait, who did that? Like, was it like that from the beginning? Oh my god. Damn. It's okay. They're like in a little gap, so I think it's fine. They got hurt, but all right. Okay. Oh my god, they're playing. What do you call this? Hanafuda, I think. Hmm. He's giving up. Oh no 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 no! Yo, hey, run! Sophia's here. Yeah, yeah. They're the ones who he saw that. Oh, that's why she was. Hmm. Damn, this is like a from a huge like part of the forest. This happened. Oh yeah, he never told this to Ashika, did he? I think we only heard the story. That's it. He never told it to Ashika, I think. Yeah, and he had to go to war as well, along with Sugimoto. Oh no, he's the one who saved him. Ah, Oh boy. Yeah, but that is not. Oh god, that is not the whole reason. Hmm. Yeah, but there is. Yeah, but that is not the whole reason. Like, hmm. No, there he is. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. There you go. Yeah, this whole place just. Hmm. Yeah. True. True. Hmm. Yeah, that is the thing. Like, yeah, but people forget that and they just. Yeah, he did figure it out. It wasn't really a secret. Oh, can read it. Intern crossing. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yep. There you go. I wonder which section we are in the manga. Like I know the manga has ended, so are we like in the final section? I think it gives me that vibe that we're probably in the final section. Oh. Okay, that's it, I think. Yay! Final chapter production. So the final season, I'm guessing. All right, there you go. That answered my question. So we are in the final section. Wait. Let me just double check. My anime list. I'm pretty sure we're going to see like a sequel is planned or something. At least something related to that. Golden Kamuy season 4. Ooh, okay. Alright, season 4. No. Excuse me. Alright, yep, season 5 is, yeah, it has been already added here. Okay, it's called Golden Kamuy Shaishu Show. I'm guessing which means the final chapter, yeah. Damn. Yes. Alright. So don't know when this is gonna come, but probably sometime next year. I'm guessing the later part of 2024 or something like that. But either way, yes, there you go. That was this episode, and this was the episode where we get to see Ashripa actually talk about the whole thing, how she knows how to kind of crack the code and all that, and yeah, the we get to see that Ashripa also gets to know Sugimoto's intentions after what he's going to do after getting the gold. So, all right, let's talk about this. First of all, we get to see Ashripa and Sugimoto in this place, like they're like looking at the cherry blossoms, and Ashripa's as always like kind of giving him more knowledge and information about like stuff, and they like look at a little squirrel kind of creature, I think. Just a minute. What did they call it? Oh no, first she talks about like the trees, like how like to how the trees are used for a lot of things, and then a few other things she talks about. Where's that part where she talks about those squirrels? Oh, it comes later, I think. Okay. Anyways, after that we see we go to Usami's section. As always, he's doing his own thing, and now here we get to see him talking about Ogata. Now, the whole situation with Ogata, we get a little bit more information about him, what happened, and he talks about a few things here. I'm going to read that here. Um, so it says like, do you remember Lieutenant Hanazawa, Ogata's half brother, who died in Battle of Hill 203? Okay, so it says like, of course I do, and he says that when Sugimoto threw Ogata into the free, okay, yeah, that whole thing where he's kind of being haunted by his like his ghost, his his guilt. That happened, and you can see that Usami was there in the hospital, and he saw Ogata talking, not talking, but kind of muttering his name, his brother's name. So Usami was like, "Oh, you Sakudono, like you're actually like are you being actually being guilt ridden by this whole thing?" And and you can see here, wait, what, I again forgot his name. Oh my god. I always mix up the two names. Uh, I'm going to check. I'm going to check his name. Wait a minute. Golden Kamuy. Is his name Ariko? No, I think Ariko's the other guy, the Ainu's name, isn't it? Then, oh my god. No, yeah, Ariko's the other person's name. Who's the other? Who's this? Oh God, I always forget this guy's name. Anyways, he, like, you can see him actually. I don't know, like there was like a section where we see him kind of like just asking Usami like, oh, like, why did he kill him? So does he like did he like have like a good relationship with Ogata's brother, and the fact that Ogata killed him probably made him pissed off or something? I don't know, because that's how it feel like. Like suddenly his tone kind of went down as soon as it came to like when he realized that Ogata did something to his own brother, and he was like, oh, why did he kill him? And like how anime do, how kind of they kind of make the character look down, and like the hat or the cap, whatever is on their head, kind of it falls, like a shadow falls on their eyes, where they don't see, like show their eyes, like in a kind of like in a sinister way they kind of make it. That's what happened. So I don't know, I feel like there's like maybe some kind of a grudge that he holds now that he knows that Ogata actually killed his brother. Maybe he had a good relationship with Ogata's brother or something, and the fact that he killed him probably makes him angry or something, or I don't know, like I'm not really sure. Like it seemed like he kind of like for a moment he kind of got a little angry here, and he asks, like, they seem to get along, and Usami is like um, gives us a little bit more context about this whole thing. So we see. Okay, I'm gonna read this part because this part's kind of interesting. Usami says like, uh, uh, Lieutenant Surumi says not to kill him because, yeah, I remember, like, Surumi said later on, told him that do not kill him. So, but if Yusaku Dono dies, then you will get all of his father's love, and he'll be able to control Lieutenant General Hanazawa. Usamu's like, that sucks. So, Surumi's like, he must have decided that Yusaku Dono would serve as a tool because of how much everyone worships him. Only because of his dad, right? They all think he's a better person than he is, right? And Ogata's like, that's right. Once he sees that, Lieutenant Surumi will change his mind. Okay, so basically he's saying like the influence is actually his brother's, not his father's. Because that's what Usami says here. That, alright, let me go back a little bit. Only cause of who his dad is, right? They all think he's a better person than he is. Okay. Oh no, wait. The subtitles here were a little bit confusing. Oh, I understand what he's trying to say. So he's saying that like it's not him, but his dad's influence. That is why people rate his brother higher than he is, because literally because of his dad. So he's saying that it's because of his dad he has this influence. I think that's what he's saying. All right. Yeah, they all think he's a better person than he is, right? Okay. So, and here Usami agrees as soon as says like that's right. Once he sees that, Lieutenant Usami will change his mind. Alright. So everyone's all the same beneath the skin. Okay, so I understand here. So this is why he decided to do that thing where he brought that one person and told his brother to kill him. Because he's like, oh, everyone's same beneath that skin, like Surumi will understand that, and he was probably trying to prove that, but he didn't do it. His brother didn't do it, so that's why he was like, okay, so this is what happened. So he says that you don't regret killing Russians, do you? And Usama is like, no, you get killed because you deserve it in some sense. Yes, I agree. And everyone has the potential to do wrong. Killing someone like that shouldn't make you feel guilty, right? And that is why he was like, alright, like big brain plan, let me bring one of these Russians and tell Yusaku Dono to kill him. And yeah, he shouldn't feel guilty about it. And then if he kills him, I will be able to prove that he's the same. Underneath our skin, everyone is the same. Like no one's are different. Since I think it's fine to kill these people, he must also think that. Like, that was his logic, I think. Okay, just because your parents love you more, don't make you a better person. And also, no, another part of this whole thing I can understand, like, he's trying to prove here that, oh, he's the same as me, and also the fact that since his father loved him more, doesn't make him a different type of person than he is. So I don't know. This is like a very weird thing. He's trying to justify the fact that he and like how like it's a like a weird thing. Inferiority complex and jealousy both at the same time. Like you can see, Ogata has a huge inferiority complex here and jealousy. He's like, oh, my father loves him more, so that shouldn't make him a different person, right? And he's like, oh, I'm going to prove that. How am I going to prove that? By bringing some person, some Russian here, and like I can kill a Russian without feeling anything bad because he did something bad, so I don't feel guilt. So this is how I am, while he, the person who his father loved, should be the same, because like, yeah, we're the same person under the same skin. And to prove that, I'm going to say this, give the same task to him as well, and tell him to kill the Russians. He shouldn't feel bad about it, and he should kill him. And if he kills him, then I'll be content by thinking that, oh, you know what? Me and Yusaku Doma are the same. Now, father's love didn't change him into some some other type of person. It's fine if I don't get my father's son. Like, this is what he's thinking. It's like a very twisted way of trying to justify the fact that his father doesn't love him. Like that type of thing. He's trying to prove to himself that father's love means nothing, which at the same time, if you think about it, it makes you realize that he actually wanted his father's love. He's up until now, he's made it seem as if like, oh, I don't care. But the fact that he's trying to justify and prove that, oh, father's love didn't make him someone different, he's the same as me, kind of makes you realize that he wanted his father to treat him the same as him, which is pretty normal, obviously. Like, who would want your dad, even if you're like the stepson or like the adopted son, who would want like your dad to be like like preferential in the person or their son that they care about? Like, oh, I love this son since he's my blood related son. This person, adopted, son of a concubine, I don't care. That kind of thing. Who would want that? Like, obviously not. So it's pretty normal for him to think. But the thing about Ogata is he's trying to justify that. He's trying to justify the fact that, yeah, he's the same as me. There's nothing different than him. So that's why I say it's a weird like situation where he's trying to he's like a mixture of jealousy, self, like an inferiority complex, and trying to prove that, oh, I'm the same as him. And yeah, like a jealousy is like a big part of it, and inferiority complex as well. So that's what he's doing. Like, it's a very weird type of situation here. And yeah, so okay, and that's why he says here, so there's nothing wrong with me then. Yeah, he's trying to justify that, yeah, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, my father loves him more, and we are the same. Like, like, it's not that I'm different than him. So that's what I'm going to prove. I'm going to prove that we are the same by bringing this person here and letting him kill him. But everything goes south when he gives Yusaku the knife, and he's like, oh, kill him. And Yusaku's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So his whole plan, or his whole thing that he thought about, that, oh, Yusaku's going to kill him, then I'll be like, yeah, we are the same. Like, father's love didn't change nothing. We are the same people. Like, he's the same as me. Father's love doesn't make him special. The reason that, like, the father never loved me, that doesn't make him inferior to him. That whole thing, he tried to prove it, but then Yusaku's like, no, I'm not going to kill him. And he's like, oh, damn, then what do I do now? I wasn't able to prove that. And so this is what happened. So his whole plan goes like south here when he never kills the guy. And then he's like, what the hell? Now what? So Usami says, yeah, looks like you weren't able to show everyone who he really is. And he's like scratching his head, and he's like, well, that's not good. Maybe I'm the weird one. And is it because I'm unloved child of a mistress? No, wait. And then he says that, what if father actually did love me? Alright, I need to think about what he's like. Like I said, he's very like trying to justify the whole thing in a very weird way. Okay, he first thinks like, yeah, since we are not the same, like, we're not the same underneath our skin, what went wrong with me? Am I the weird one? And then he's thinking like, no, wait a minute, what if father actually did love me? Then there'd be no difference between me and Yusaku Dono. Okay, so now he's trying to find another way to prove that his father loved him. Like, they're the same. Because if he's able to prove that father loved him, he'd be able to prove that, oh, we are the same. Okay, So that's what he thought now. Then he's thinking that would mean he's no saint. He's got the potential to kill without guilt. Wow, this guy is actually. So he's like using the reverse path now. He's like, oh, I wasn't able to prove that he's the same as me in this direct way. He didn't try to kill him. So what I'm going to do is like go through the opposite path. Like he's doing this as a mathematical equation basically. That's what he's doing. So okay, according to him, he and Yusaku are the same. And like even if his father loved Yusaku more, he's trying to prove that Yusaku and I are equal. Like Ogata is equal to Yusaku. And to do that, he was like, oh, I can kill a person without, like a Russian, without feeling any guilt. He would be able to do the same. So if it's literally a mathematical equation he's doing. So if he's able to do that, then I'll be able to prove that, yeah, Ogata equal to Yusaku. He tries to do that. He's like, no, I'm not going to kill. So he's like, wait a minute, then that doesn't work. I'm not able to prove that. Oh, what if I go to the opposite direction? I've always thought that father loved him a little bit more. But what if that's not the case? What if father loved me as well? And then he's like, okay, if father loved me as well, then that would mean that he's not a saint. He's got a potential to kill without a guilt. Because, like, Ogata is a person who can kill a person without any guilt. And that's why he's like, oh, since father loved Yusaku and never loved me, then maybe, like, the love is the discerning factor of the fact that I can kill someone without a guilt. So love is the potential factor that can make someone kill without guilt. That's in his head, that is the thing. So now he's thinking to the opposite direction. He's like, oh, if father always loved me, then that would mean that it doesn't matter if love was there. If I can kill without guilt, then that would mean since he loved Yusaku as well, that he can kill without guilt as well. If you try to, if you can understand what I'm trying to say, he's literally doing this through like a mathematical equation. Like for him, love is something that would not make you kill. Like that would not make you kill without guilt. Since he wasn't loved, he's thinking that, oh, I've been able to kill without guilt. That's why he tried to prove that, oh, if Yusaku can also kill without guilt, then I'll be able to prove it wrong. That love is a discerning factor. But then since he wasn't able to do it through the forward way, he tries to go backward. He's like, oh, what if I'm able to prove that father loved me? Then I can literally prove that love is not a discerning factor of whether I can kill someone without guilt. Because I can kill someone without guilt, so that means love isn't a factor. And that's how I will be able to prove that love also wasn't a factor for Yusaku, and he's also a person who can kill without guilt. In a weird way, this is like his way. Like, it took me a while to understand what he's trying to, say here. It's a very twisted psychology. He's literally making human relationships and these type of emotional things into like a mathematical equation. And he says like, how do I find out if father really loves me? Oh, kill him. That's how I'm able to discern if my father loved me or not. I need to get rid of Yusaku Dono. There you go. So we actually understand how his brain worked here, why he killed him. It's a very twisted reason. He just tried to prove a mathematical equation about, love and, the guilt to kill. Trying to prove that, he decides to kill Yusaku. And that's what he did here. He killed him. And yeah, then obviously his father never loved him after that. And he was again proven wrong, I guess. He says like, alright, after that, Usami is like, oh, so the answer to that whole thing was, not at all. He never loved him. He got permanent blue balls because Yusaku Dono died pure. Isn't that precious? And he's like, Usami is like on his own, thing. Okay, now next we get to see Usami is like on his own whole thing. He's like, oh, you're trying to trade, kind of poke the traitors. You're trying to go against Surumi. When he was in the hospital. What is not good enough for Surumi, for you? And then he makes a weird connection. He's like, oh, are you trying to make Surumi love you? Because your father never loved you. Is that what you're trying to do, Usami? Ogata. And Ogata's like, what the hell is this dude even saying? And okay, so So you can see that when Ogata left with Surumi, Surumi said that, oh, good job, Ogata Hyakunosuke. I'm sure he'll see you for the person you are now from here onwards. And while Usami is just gritting his teeth and he's like, how dare you, Ogata? Like, how dare you ask, like, get compliment from Surumi? And Surumi then leaves. And here we go. Usami is like, did you agree to kill Lieutenant General Hanazawa because you thought it would make you the head of the 7th Division? And Ogata's like, no, I just want to talk with him. With the whole thing about love and everything, he talked about him. While Usami is in his own word, he's like, oh, you don't think if that's your influence is going to make Surumi start loving you, right? I doubt that is the reason, but, like, whatever. Ogata's like, no. And then Usami talks about the Manchurian Railroad, and he's like, oh, he saw your dad is in the way, so yeah, I don't think Surumi is going to like you or love you. And then in the hospital, he's like, oh, you killed your father, but Lieutenant Surumi won't love you. Haha, sucks to be you. Nobody loves you and it drives you nuts. So you're blaming it all on Lieutenant Surumi, aren't you? I feel like Ogata's like, what the hell, I'm struggling with my own, like thing, with the whole Yusaku's ghost trying to come and haunt me and my guilt eating at me, and this dude is on top of my bed trying to blame me of something else. Okay. Usami's like, know your place. Okay, here, this part. He says that we're just Lieutenant Surumi's pawns. Learn from Sergeant Tsukishima. It's kind of funny because at this point he is correct, but later on, as we get to see when Koito has a conversation with Tsukishima, we can see that he did change after that, I guess you could say. He knows damn well that he's a pawn. Lieutenant Surumi. Okay, so you can see here that we're back to the flashback again, and you can see that Usami's like, oh, you did a great job, Lieutenant Surumi. Like, that was so amazing. The way you manipulated Tsukishima. Like you used him as a pawn. And Surumi, bandaged it all. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, you call Sergeant Tsukishima a comrade in arms. You said that so everyone can hear you, right? And he's like, everyone is in love with you now. And morale is through the roof. They're all ready to come together and fight with you. And he's like, oh, I'm so jealous. I want you to use me as a pawn like you did him. This is probably one of the most, what can I say? Like, one of the most disturbed individual in this whole series. I'm realizing it. And he's like, oh, it's the best way I can be used. And Surumi is like, I never think of my men as pawns. And he's like, yeah, sure. But if you told me if I was a comrade in arms, I might burst out laughing. So there you go. Now, I've always said this before, and I still think this is the case. Yeah, Surumi does manipulate people and try to kind of bring them in and try to get them as comrades. But his manipulation isn't full manipulation. There's a part of him that is actually genuine about what he says. Like, this is the thing. While Usami thinks like, oh, he's full of crap. He's filled with crap. He's just giving all of these as like some kind of manipulation. Like, he's trying to manipulate everyone. And Usami likes that. Usami's like, why don't you do that to me? Like, that is the thing. While I doubt Surumi is doing that completely. Yeah, he definitely kind of manipulates and kind of does the whole thing. But there's a part of him that genuinely believes what he's saying. Otherwise, I don't see someone jumping in the middle of a blast to save Tsukishima just because he's trying to manipulate him. In no way is that possible. I refuse to believe that. A person can be that mentally completely like crazy that, oh, just because of manipulation, I'm going to jump and save him and get my head blown off and almost killed just so that I can manipulate this guy. In no way is that possible. I refuse to believe that. Like if there's someone like that, I don't know what to say. That person's probably mentally completely gone. Like, in no way is it possible. So there must be something genuine within him for him to actually try to save Tsukishima in that situation while almost getting his head blown off. And here's the thing. You think Surumi actually planned that explosion and that whole thing that happened? How can he like plan that whole thing from the like from the beginning? In no way is that possible, you know. So that part was, I'm pretty sure that whole section was kind of a coincidence. And yeah, obviously he's trying to manipulate Tsukishima in that situation, but also the fact that when he saw that Tsukishima was going to die, he genuinely decided to rescue him by putting his life on the line. Because for him, he values the people he's trying to manipulate and bringing into his team. He values them as his comrades, you know. Even though he's manipulating them and putting them into certain scenarios to manipulate them and kind of come to him, as a person, he genuinely sees them as a comrade and genuinely thinks for them. This is what Koito said. If you remember, Koito said that, yeah, I understand Tsurumi manipulated me, but there is good in him. And that is the good that I want you to see, Tsukishima. You know, you're not seeing that good. So that is the thing. That is the thing. I think Koito is probably the only one who has been able to very properly judge Tsurumi. In this whole show, the only person who can properly judge Tsurumi is Koito. You know, never Tsukishima never realized what type of person Tsurumi is until Koito told him. Usami, forget him. He's completely in his own world. No one was able to understand Tsurumi as well as Koito. And Koito's very like on the money in his way of judging Tsurumi. He's on the money about it. You know, yeah, he manipulates people. He tries to get them and puts them into these dangerous situations, trying to make like a board and try to put the all the chess pieces together and kind of makes like a whole plan and orchestrates the whole thing. But after he gets them, or after his desire to try to help these people out and try to kind of look at their safety is genuine. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's what I think, at least. Like, yeah, he's manipulative, but he isn't for the people he saves, he doesn't really he tries to help them as much as he can, in a way. So that is the thing. Surumi is probably one of the most, what can I say, the only person who I've seen who's in the extremity of evil and also of good in a weird way. He's in the gray zone completely. You know, he has a mixture of both qualities, that kind of thing. Yeah, and the thing is, Surumi is very evenly balanced. He's evenly balanced in both the the dark zone and the light zone. He's in the middle of it. You've seen villains having humanity within them. They're usually in the dark zone, but they have a little light in them. While good people having a little evil in them, they're in the light zone, but has a little dark in them. While Sunu is in the middle, completely middle. He has both, and he's a mixture of it. And Koito was the only one person who was able to understand that. Either way, Usami is in his own dream world, and he's Surumi never loved you, Ogata, haha, look at this. And I just love this part where Ogata's if we are all pawns and peasants, you're the son of a peasant and the cheapest pawn of them all. Usami gets so pissed off, tries to attack him and just hits him with a bedpan and just runs. And yeah, after that Usami gets up and Usami's one person comes in and Usami's you heard what he said? And he's that Ogata, I'm going to show him. That can't be right? I'm not the cheapest pawn, am I? He's trying to and here we can see Usami's pretty pissed off about this thing still. And he's Ogata, Yakunosuke, you come to with towards me. I'm gonna show you. He's has this vendetta against him. Alright, later on we see Ogata hunting ducks and all that, and he's oh, I can kind of do it now, and Hijikata's oh, good job, and he's oh, but I'm not ready yet. I need to kill people to understand if I'm a good sniper. Still, I have it with me again. Either way, next we switch to again Botaro and Shiraishi, and you can see that Botaro is still asking Shiraishi about Ashiripa, and he's I don't understand why you're working with them. Now here's the thing. You can see Botaro is trying to make a deeper meaning behind this. He's trying to think, the way he's thinking is oh, Ashiripa has some kind of a clue within her, and he puts two and two together, and he's Ashiripa's eyes are the same as Nopperabo, isn't it? and he's like trying to justify the reason why Shiraishi is still working with these two. And he's like, oh, is that why you're working with them? Is that why you're like still with them, because you're trying to like you know that Ashripa knows something, and do you know a secret? And like, and Shiraishi, obviously Shiraishi's like, nah, that's not the case, like stuff happened. And Shiraishi says like, you don't understand, you think I'm being trusted, but I am not actually being trusted. They still keep things away from me, like like both Sugimoto and Ashripa. I don't have the full information, they don't fully trust me, you know and that is what he says here. Now, like, obviously I can, like, yeah, like at first Shiraishi was like that. He just wanted like the money and all that stuff, like tried to saving his own skin. But after the second season, with the whole situation that happened with Sugimoto, Ashripa, and how, like, he saw that even though Sugimoto kind of knew about the betrayal that he did, he still saved him. After he realized that, he decided to genuinely kind of go with them. And after Sugimoto in second season, after that whole thing, when Sugimoto kind of entrusted him with Ashripa, he decided to completely fully commit to this whole role. And so it's a lot different now. And obviously, like, Botaro doesn't know that, and Botaro doesn't know what experiences he went through. So Botaro's trying to justify this by thinking, like, oh, maybe Ashripa knows something, maybe Shiraishi knows something, maybe, like, that is why he's still sticking with them. Well, Shiraishi is like, it's none of that, like, it's not what you think it is. Like, I don't have the full information. And yeah, so here Botaro gives him like a coin, and he's like, oh, I found this in one of that thing. And you see the inscription on the coin, it looks like the tattoos. What do you think about this? Like, this is something that Wilk made, didn't it? And while all this is happening, Sugimoto and Ashripa are looking at squirrels. Kamuy. Ashripa's like, oh, like, I'm going to get this and make a glove out of it. Sugimoto's like, please don't do that. Oh boy. Anyways, after that, you can see that Ashripa kind of reminisces about his father, her father, and like, her father, how her father showed her like the constellations and stuff. I love this part where Ashripa's like, he's like, oh, you see what that constellation? What is it? And Ashripa's like, oh, that's a that's a male genital. And her dad is like, no, it's not. That doesn't exist. And okay, so Wilk talks about, I think Wenkamui, I think that's what they call, yeah, the wolf. And he says like, that's a Wenkam. Now, we've always seen how Wilk really admired wolves. And remember how he talked about how he was fascinated by a wolf, how looking at their eyes, you can see they live a life of no, what's that word? No excess, like, I think that's the word, like they, no, I cannot find a particular word. Like, he says something like he lives a life of simplicity where there's nothing excess, of no, like, like no excess, like, like thing, like whatever, like something like that, like and he admired that look. And it kind of makes me realize the reason why Wilk seemed in, like, kind of in season 2 and season 3, when we saw his backstory, why Wilk seemed so detached from everything. You see his face and you see his eyes, and you realize how he's talking to the people. However, he's not in that place. He's looking at something far, far away, like, like a vision towards the future or something, like something completely different, which kind of made him feel a lot eerie. If you remember in season 3, when we saw his backstory, whenever I looked at him, I felt very eerie about him. Like, his eyes were like not there. He was looking at something far in the distance in the future, it seemed like. And it makes me realize, like, that is literally what he admired about wolves. And he actually became like that as time went by. But I guess in the future, he kind of changed when Ashripa was born. And he again kind of became kind of like, like a lot more attached to the, like, like to them. And like that whole look of him looking at the future kind of little by little vanished. Because in the flashbacks that we see with Ashripa and Wilk seems a lot better. However, in the flashback that we see in season 3, Wilk was something else completely. He looked eerie, he looked weird, and the way, when you looked at him, you felt a little like a creeping sensation as to what the hell is guy thinking. Like, looking at him, you cannot understand what he's trying to think. He's completely blank, as if he's not even here. That type of thing. But that changed a lot after Ashipa was born, I'm guessing. And he became a lot more emotional, and a lot more emotion came to him. That whole look kind of disappeared, as you can see. Either way, yeah, so here Sugimoto talks about Retar and how hopefully Retar has a lot of kids, and the like the future generation of the Wenkamuis are back again, like they don't go extinct. Okay, now here I'm going to read this part because I Aship actually talks about the code. He says like he says Acha's name is Horgyu Oshkoni. Yeah, that is the name that I think the mother her mother gave her. This has to be the clue to breaking the code. Horgyu Oshkoni. He put the Ainu name my mother gave him into the code. Okay. I can't believe someone like that would kill so many Ainu and steal the gold. There you go. So, is that why Kyoranka and Nishpa killed Acha? The gold changed their fates, everyone's fate, for their worse. Yeah. Is it really best if the gold is found? And she's thinking about the gold, and she's now little by little kind of changing her thought process into thinking like, is it okay if we find the gold? And then he switches from that to thinking, what will happen if we find the gold? Like Sugimoto will leave, wouldn't he? He won't stay with me. And she's now thinking like, is it good that is it better that the code never gets solved? So that he'll stay with me forever? And then she's also thinking like, I can serve as a bullet shield for him and just let this whole thing like never get solved. Maybe it would be better if we never find the gold and stay together forever. And she says like, Sugimoto, what do you do if you find the gold? The question that like everyone asks. And Sugimoto kind of stops and thinks. And yeah, so their conversation kind of gets interrupted. Okay, Ashiba says, go back to your home and live with the person you loved. So Sugimoto will, okay, if the gold is found, Sugimoto will leave me. And she tries to say something, but then the whole thing with the trees happen, like how they cut off the trees, is going to fall like dominoes. So that happens, the whole thing falls down. And obviously Shiraishi and what's his name, Botaro kind of realizes what's going on. They quickly rush to see what's going on. And you see Sugimoto kind of kind of covering Ashripa and like protecting her, and falling, falling, the trees all fall on them. So Shirashi's like, oh no, what do I do? And he tries to like screaming, and he's like, Sugimoto, Ashripa, where are you trying to find? And Botaro kind of explains like how people chop the trees partially, knock them over, the first one, and they fall like all dominoes and everything. And Shirashi's like two of them are in the forest, you better like try to help me and find them. And Botaro's like, what? Like they're here? And they try to find them. Now we see Sugimoto's like, he's fine, like he's bleeding obviously, but he's okay. They're kind of like in the gap between like a few trees, so they're safe now. And Ashipa's also bleeding, but she's fine. And Sugimoto's like, Ashipa, are you stuck? And tries to get out. Okay, while all of this is happening, we get to see Tsukishima and Koito playing like that game, that Hanafuda type game, I think. And yeah, while all of this is happening, we see Sophia there just looking at them. And at first I was like, why is she so mad? Then I realized like, oh, because they killed Kiroranke. And Tsukishima's like, I don't know what's her deal is, but be careful, with her. And you can see that Sophia's like, okay, calm down, keep yourself calm. I first need to know where find Ashripa. Then all of these comes. I need to keep quell my anger. Okay, now next we get to see again Sugimoto's situation, and here we go. Sugimoto thinks about what Ashripa said, and he gives her an answer. It says that there's this person called Ume. I was supposed to marry her, but then my parents, my father died because of tuberculosis, and yeah, that never happened, and I had to go for war. And my childhood friend Toraji was also, we three were childhood friends, so he's the one who married her. And I was like, yeah, it's fine, he can make her happy, it's okay, I'll be able to leave. But then Toraji also had to leave with Sugimoto for the war because of Ume's eyes, and yeah, they needed money. So both of them were in the war, and then later on, in that explosion, Toraji is the one who grabbed Sugimoto and pushed him to safety. So Toraji died, like almost died, not almost, but died. But when he was almost dying, he said that if I told her I threw you, would Umeko believe it? And yeah, and then he just died there. So again, we see Shiraishi and Botaro looking for them. And here Botaro's like, if you're that worried about them, then you definitely must know something. That girl must be the key, right? And he's like, she's Noppabo's daughter, right? And Shiraishi is like, shut up, like now's not the time. Like, I understand what you're trying to think, and you're probably making a mistake. Yeah, that might be the case, but I'm not just here because of that. A lot of things happened. And he's like, who gives a crap either way? Again, Sugimoto section. He says, I have to keep my promise and go home to give her the money she needs. Yeah, but then he says, okay, so I guess he never told this to Ashiba. So Ashiba's like, oh, your reason is very much like you. I'm so glad. And she's like, you need the gold no matter what, right? And here is probably when Ashiba decided that, yes, I'm going to tell Sugimoto. And then Sugimoto says, even if we do find the gold, I'll stay with your partner until you're satisfied with how things have turned out. And Ashiba's like, okay. And she's thinking like, yeah, that wasn't the answer I really wanted, but it's fine, I guess. Because yeah, she wanted to hear like Sugimoto say something like, yeah, even if I give the money to her, I'm going to come back and stay with you, or something like that. But he didn't really say that. He's like, oh, I'm going to stay with you up until you want me to. Like that kind of thing, up until you're satisfied. Which is, I guess, what's that word? Like a circular way of kind of telling it. Like, I'll stay with you as long as you like, or something like that. But anyways, Ashipa's like, yeah, like, let's get out of here. And Sugimoto was like, yeah, she's definitely looking for us. I know it. Like. And and Ashipa says that, oh, it must be because he's very greedy. But Sugimoto's like, no, I doubt that is the whole reason. But he did keep my promise to keep you safe, so I believe in him. And he says, like, I think it's okay to tell him at least about the whole thing, about the code and all that. Yeah, and Ashiba says, like, yeah, I should have said this earlier. I missed my chance. And yeah, then she just just comes in. I love how she's like, oh, the Ark Kamuy come to save us. Those squirrels with the round head. And Shirashi's round head. And Shirashi is crying. And she's like, oh, I'm so glad all that happened in Kafuto was for nothing. Okay, so later on, Botaro asks the woodcutters to help them out, and they help them come outside. So yeah, after that, we see this whole place. Ashiba sees how all the trees are down, and yeah, so Sugimoto says, like, I wonder all the animals leaving here, where they went. And okay, so here Ashiba says that I know, obviously we also take from nature. Like, we kill, just like the Japanese, we kill deer, bear, even wolves, sell their pelts, take their meat. And, we do farming, we cut trees, everything we do. But what we need to remember is that, like, she says, like, obviously we cannot stop doing all of this, and nobody can blame you for wanting to live a good life of luxury and, of content. So, but what we should do is never take all together at the same time. We should always leave something. She says, like, when we hunt, we don't take all the meat. We leave a little for the mountain. And just like that, the crops, we leave some herbs as well. Because there'll be more next year. That's always what we have done. Also for trees, like, they cut trees but never cut everything. They keep the trees in a way that, it doesn't affect or hamper the growth. Not like this, where they literally wiped out the whole place, like just gone everything. Never like that. And they also like plant more trees. And that is the correct way of living life and saving nature as well. Like nobody's telling you to stop doing this. Everyone's telling you to like not take everything, keep something. But human beings forget that. They just like do like as we see here. The whole place is just barren now. Everything gone completely from one plot, like of land. And yeah, she says like if we leave a little behind of everything, our Kamuy won't vanish. I remember that's what Acha said, and she says like I doubt that is a person who said that is going to kill the Ainu. And here she actually also says like, oh, like Botaro show him the gold piece, and like she actually just says like, oh, he knows, like it's like no parables like her dad. And Sugumo's like, what the hell? She actually like like no need to get mad. He knew it. He put two and two together. So I don't think there's any point in like kind of keeping this from him a secret. And Botaro says this was at the bottom of Lake Shikotsu. And yeah, it's like the same pattern as the tattoos. And Ashipa reads what it's saying. She says, this looks like Ainu. And she says, it means intern or crossing paths. And Botaro says, I wonder if the Ainu from long ago brought all their gold together in one place. Okay. Then melted down a part of it to celebrate the dream of having their own nation. Interesting. Acha once said Sofia in Russia that the Ainu and the other Far Eastern minorities should come together. If he held this with him until the day it sank into Lake Shikotsu, it means his desire for all of us to come together and protect what we have has never changed. He would never try to kill the people he tried to save. Yeah. And she says, like, Acha never killed those Ainu, I'm sure of it. And that's why I need to find the gold. And I finally realized what it is that I have to do to save the Ainu. And it kind of ended there, so we're going to get our answer in the next season, what Ashipa has decided. And I think it's like the final season of this show. Alright, another brilliant season. I just love this so much. So many things we got to know here. A lot of more depth to the characters. And yeah, like we can see Ashipa and Sugimoto actually now have like a concrete, like a reason and a, like like a goal now. So yeah, next season will probably be the final season, and hopefully everything goes well. That is it, guys. As always, I love this show so much. It has so much depth to the characters. Each and every character is so amazing. And yeah, all in all, this is a brilliant show and a very underrated show. I think it's pretty popular in Japan, but the Western audience, I doubt anyone watches this. Like it's so rare to see people talking about Golden Kamuy. And it's kind of weird because like like I don't know, like it's kind of, I thought this would be that type of show that kind of becomes popular, but it never became popular in the Western community. I don't know why. It is popular, I guess, but yeah, like not that same popularity as a few other shows that we see. So I never realized the reason behind it. The show is pretty good, and like I don't know why in Western audience it isn't that popular. But nothing you can do about it. I'm just glad that for the fact that this actually got like a full adaptation. Like it deserved, like it actually deserves a full adaptation, and it's actually getting one, and I'm glad about that. So that is it. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, and comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Another anime will replace this in the like in the upcoming seasons. So yeah, see you guys then. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.